Welcome to your practice. Take a few moments to settle in and get comfortable. Ideally sitting in a cross-legged position, and if your hips feel tight or knees feel tight, just sitting on a pillow or a cushion or a bolster or a block and rising your hips so that your lower body can be soft and relaxed. And closing your eyes. And just beginning to pay attention to the sensation of your body and the sensation of breath moving through your body. And softening and relaxing through your shoulders, and relaxing your chest and your throat. And softening the areas behind your eyeballs and the forehead. And relaxing through the jaw and softening your tongue down away from the roof of your mouth. And arms are soft and palms resting on your knees or your thighs, and just breathe. Notice the gentle fluid motion of lift as you inhale. And notice a slight feeling of stillness, rootedness, and relaxation as you exhale. And staying with that cycle. And we'll slowly begin to bring some movement into the neck. Perhaps some gentle head rolls, being very mindful of the neck. And perhaps just dropping one ear to one shoulder, just creating a little bit of movement, waking the body up. And then I'll get you to drop your chin towards your chest and extend both arms wide, fingertips to the floor. Now press down through your fingertips and pull your shoulders down away from your ears as you tuck your chin, finding stretch and expansion through the back side of your shoulders, the back of your neck. And sending your inhalation into that space. And walking your hands forward, keeping the chin tucked. And then we'll slowly walk the fingertips back, roll the shoulders, and a couple more movements to the neck, whatever your body feels like it needs. And then extend your right arm, fingertips to the floor, and as you inhale, reach your left arm high and let it just drop over your head. Pull your left hip down towards the mat as you reach over your body. And then your breath slowly transitioning to the other side, left hand, fingertips to the floor, right arm overhead. And just moving with your breath, we will flow side to side, transitioning on the inhale and folding on the exhale. And finding space and expansion through both side body. Every time you lift the arm and drop it over, can you lift the side rib cage? And moving through that maybe one more time, and then finding stillness with both arms extended as they were in the beginning, fingertips to the floor. And again, walking the fingertips forward, shoulders relaxed from the ears. Take a breath. And then we'll slowly come back to seated. Roll the shoulders, shake the shoulders. And we're going to transition slowly, mindfully, into a tabletop position. Tucking the toes and placing the hands beneath the shoulders and hips over the knees. And with an inhale, lean forward ever so slightly, stretching the forearms and wrists. And exhale sends your hips back over your heels. Stretch the soles of your feet. Inhale to gently hinge forward. And exhale, gently press back. And finding that movement, that breath, that stretch in both forearms, wrist, and soles of feet. And on the next inhale, we'll come through a tabletop position. And so finding yourself in tabletop, you can untuck your toes and take your big toes to touch, knees wide, and we'll find a child's pose. resting your hips back towards your heels, chest and forehead resting softly towards your mat. Relax and breathe. And on your next inhale, we're going to walk the hands as far to the left as you can. And once you reach that spot, pressing your right hand down a little further, a little firmer, and then pulling your right hip back just a little bit more towards your heels. And taking a full breath into the space of your right rib cage, and exhale, fully relax, surrender, and melt into the floor. And on your next inhale, walking the hands through center and then all the way to the right. And pressing firm down through the left hand and pulling the left hip back just a little bit towards the heels. And now sending your breath, big breath, into the left side rib cage. And breath out just relaxes you a little bit more. And on your next breath, walking the hands back through center. And slowly pressing yourself up through a tabletop position and prepping for some cat-cow, waking your spine up. So finding a neutral spine, hands beneath your shoulders and hips over your knees. With your inhale, you will drop your belly and the back of your tailbone and back of your head will lift. Gaze comes forward. Exhale takes you reverse. Press down through your hands, round your spine, tuck your belly button, tuck your chin. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round your spine. And moving with your own breath cycle, waking the spine and allowing it to move in both forward and backward directions, flexion and extension. And then finding a neutral spine, we'll tuck our toes, prepare for downward facing dog. Lifting your knees off the mat and pressing your hips first back towards the wall behind you, and then slowly lifting them high and working your legs towards straight, but do not focus your attention so much on the legs being straight. Take your hands wide and press down through all 10 fingers. Knees are as bent as you need them to be. Take an inhale, lift the heels, come high on your toes, and exhale to press your heels in the direction of the floor. A few of those. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, heels down. And just finding stretch through the backside of body, including your Achilles, your calves, your hamstrings. On your inhale, roll yourself forward to a high plank position. And exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhaling to high plank and exhaling, downward facing dog. And take a look at the top of your mat, and on your next breath in, slowly walk your feet to the top of your mat. Bend your knees and exhale, fold into a standing forward fold. And relaxing completely in your fold, take an inhale and just slightly lift the spine away from your legs, and exhale, fold completely, tuck your chin. Bending through your knees, we'll inhale, rise, stand tall, reach the arms high overhead, stretch from the torso. Exhale to fold gently back over your legs, fingertips to the floor. And inhale, lifts the spine just slightly. Exhale, left leg steps back, drops your knee, low lunge. Both arms, inhale. Exhale, both hands to the mat. And gently step back, downward facing dog. And taking breath here. And inhale, left leg high. And exhale, step all the way through, right knee down, low lunge. Breath in, arms rise. Breath out, hands to the earth, and step forward into your fold. Exhale, release completely. Inhale to rise, arms reach high. Exhale, bend the knees and fold forward. Fingertips to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift your spine. And exhale, right leg steps back, low lunge. Breath in, arms rise. Exhale, hands to the earth, downward facing dog. Take a breath. Inhale, right leg lifts high. And your exhale brings your leg through low lunge. Finding expansion, breath in, open the chest, reach the arms high. Exhale, hands to the earth. Step forward, release, exhale, forward fold. And bending both knees, inhale, gently lift the spine, and exhale, fold completely. Inhale to rise, reach tall, hands to the sky. Exhale takes you back over your legs, release, fingertips to the mat. Breath in, lengthen the spine, and exhale, left leg back. Both arms, inhale, really lift through the heart. Expand front body, exhale, hands to the earth, downward facing dog. Big breath. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step all the way through, low lunge. Breath in, arms rise, expand, open front body, stretch. Exhale, hands to the earth, step forward. Release, exhale, forward fold. We'll rise, inhale, reach your torso, reach your arms high, high, high. Exhale, fold over your legs. Breath in, lift the spine just a little bit. Exhale, right leg steps back, low lunge. Breath in, reach the arms, shine the heart up and forward. Exhale, hands to the earth, downward facing dog. And finding that fluidity of breath and movement. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale all the way through, low lunge. Breath in, arms rise, chest rise, stretch front body. Exhale, hands to the earth. Top of mat, forward fold, relax. Tuck your chin. Halfway lift, give space in your spine. Exhale, fold deeper, tuck your chin. And breath in will rise, arms reach high, hands, palms together. Slide them down, stop at your third eye, and pause at your heart. Close your eyes and release your hands, palms forward, mountain pose. Shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Find your space to breathe. And spacing between all 10 toes, root yourself, ground in, and inhale both arms. Exhale, sit back into chair pose, hips back, arms reaching high, biceps beside the ears. Belly button pulled in, rib cage strong in the front body. Breath in, rise, stand tall. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift the spine. Left leg steps back, right leg steps back, high plank. Take a breath in, and exhale, lower your whole body to the floor and untuck your toes. Hands press down, shoulders roll back, and inhale, baby cobra, shine your heart forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, shoulders roll back, chest shines forward. Exhale, release. And on your next inhale, press up through tabletop. Tuck your toes and send your hips back, downward facing dog. And finding some room to breathe in your downward facing dog. Taking your hands wide and fingers spread. Inhale, lift high on tippy toes, and exhale, heels towards the earth. And next breath in, right leg lifts high. Exhale, foot releases. Inhale, lift your heel high. Exhale, foot releases. One more inhale, heel high. And exhale brings that knee all the way through, finding a low lunge, left knee down. Grab your block, have it close by. Reach your block up, holding with your right hand. Exhale, right hand and block come to the floor beside you. Left arm reaches up and over towards the right. Feeling that stretch now all through left front side and side body. Can you gently pull your right hip back and press the front of left thigh forward? Breath out brings the hands back through, stepping back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, left leg lifts high. And exhale, foot back down. And again, breath in, leg lifts. Breath out, foot releases. One more, inhale, leg high. And exhale, stepping all the way through, low lunge, grab your block, move it to your left hand. Arms rise, inhale. Exhale, left hand and block to the floor beside you. And then extend, reach tall with the right arm and up and over towards the left. Gently pulling your left hip back as the front of your right thigh comes forward. Feeling stretch down the front and side of right body. And on your next breath, bringing the arms back through neutral, taking the block, putting it in front of you, and stepping forward, release into your forward fold. Finding breath and finding stillness. And then bend the knees, both arms rise. Hands down through heart center. Relax, palms forward. Hinging at the hips, sinking down, finding our chair pose, arms rise. Weight throughout the heels, palms together. Inhale, lift the chest, and as we exhale, moving into a twist, take the right arm to the outside of left knee. Gaze, if possible, turns to left elbow. Inhale through center, exhale, fold. Taking breath and relaxing into your fold. Inhale all the way rising. And as we exhale, sinking back into our chair pose, arms reach, palms together, bring them down at heart center, and take a breath, lift the chest. As you exhale, twist to the right. So the back of left arm now is on the outside of your right knee. Gaze, if possible, towards the right elbow, belly pulled in tight. Release, come forward, exhale into your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back to a high plank. Breath in, and with your breath out, slowly lowering all the way to belly or hover for up dog, cobra or up dog. Exhale, slowly press back, find your downward facing dog. And inhale, right leg high, and bend at the knee, step all the way through, find your high lunge. Now hop your back leg a little bit closer forward and grab your block. Moving into pyramid. Inhale, lift the belly off of the thigh, lengthen your spine. With your exhale, can you pull your right hip a little bit back? Every breath in creates space and length in your spine. Exhale, pulling the hip back and folding if it's there for you. Using the block on the ground as a support in case the floor feels far away. Working towards straight right leg, but not necessary. What we want to feel is a stretch through the whole back side of the right leg. So continue focusing on guiding the right hip back. And inhale, bend the knee, and both hands to the floor. Gently guide yourself back into a downward facing dog. And take a breath. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, find your high lunge, and then hop your back foot in a little bit. Grab your block. Now with your inhale, lift your belly up and away from your thigh, lengthen out through crown of head, and now guide your left hip back. Every breath in, same thing, chest lifts, spine lengthens. Exhale, hip pulls back. And maybe, just maybe, you can fold. Don't worry about it. If you can, beautiful. If not, beautiful. Every breath creates space in your spine. Exhale, guide your hip back. And feel that beautiful stretch all down the back side of your left leg. And on your next inhale, bending through your front knee, place both hands to the earth and step back into a high plank. Belly engaged, hands strong, pressed down. Slowly lower your body all the way for cobra or halfway, and then chest rises, upward facing dog. Big toes touch, knees wide. Please find a child's pose. Send your hips back and send your heart and forehead towards the mat. Relax and breathe. And breath in, rise up through a tabletop position. And cross your ankles and have a seat behind your feet. Bring your legs out in front. Find the center of your mat. Bending your knees, both feet to the mat. Take your hands behind you, fingertips pointed outward. Inhale, lift up into reverse tabletop. Front of thighs lift towards the sky, chest towards the sky. Shoulder blades squeeze in together, press down through your hands, and slowly exhale, hips to the floor. I'm preparing for a boat pose, so option to place your fingertips behind your tailbone. Lift the chest, tall spine, legs hover over the floor. Inhale, reach the fingertips high. Exhale, fingertips to floor. Inhale, fingertips high. Exhale, fingertips to floor. If you're placing your hands behind you, just simply hold boat and breathe. And then relax your feet to the floor. Bring your hands to the ground behind you. One more lift of reverse tabletop. Press down through your hands. Lift up through chest, tops of thigh, tops of pelvis. Squeeze shoulder blades together. And on your next breath, slowly lower your hips, finding boat round 2. If you've reached your arms forward, please do so again. Chest lifts, legs elevate. As you inhale, drop your hands and raise your feet. Exhale back to neutral. Inhale, feet lift, hands drop. Exhale, neutral. Option to leave the legs steady and just move through the arms. Keeping the chest lifted, bringing the feet back down to the mat. And make sure your hips are situated right in the center of your mat, and slowly with control, roll your back body to the floor. Tuck your heels in, prepping for bridge pose. You should be able to graze the back of your ankles with your fingertips. Inhale to press down through your heels, lift up through your hips. Clasp your hands beneath your back if possible, and then one shoulder at a time, prop your shoulders beneath your shoulder blades, lifting your chest. And now lift your chin away from your chest. Opening through the front body, finding expansion across the chest. Press your knees forward. Engage through core to support your low back. And taking full breath. Press down through the pinky edge of your hand and through your forearm, elbow, and shoulders. Lift up through chest. And release the hands, and slowly, one vertebrae at a time, rolling your spine down to your mat, and gently tuck your knees into chest and take a moment of rest, pause, breathing, releasing the low back. And then take your hands behind your thighs and give yourself a little rock forward and backwards a few times until you've created enough momentum to bring yourself into a seated position. And from that seated position, pressing back through tabletop and eventually finding downward facing dog. And in your downward dog, take an inhale to roll into a high plank and bend the knees. Exhale, press back downward facing dog, finding that spinal mobility like a wave. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, press back. And on your next breath in, right leg lifts high. Bend the knee, bring your heel towards your bum. And then open your right leg towards the right, creating a nice, beautiful stretch through the front of right thigh. Continue pressing equally down through both hands and keeping the chest as neutral as you can. Bringing that right leg now through all the way into a high lunge. Grab your block. Bring your back foot in just ever so slightly. Left hand to block. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine and pull the right hip back. With your left hand on the block, can you rotate your chest gently towards the right and reach your right arm to the ceiling? You're welcome to leave your right hand on your hip, but what you want to do is continue to pull your right hip back. And on your next breath, release your hands to the ground, step back, downward facing dog. And your next breath sends your left leg high. Bend at your knee, heel towards your bum, and open the leg towards the left. Pressure equally in both hands. Chest stays neutral. Big breath in. And exhale, left leg all the way through. High lunge. Grab your block. Place your right hand on the block beside your left foot and lift up through torso. Exhale, pull your left hip back. And find that expansion, that lift and lengthen through your torso. Guide your left hip back, and with your right hand on your block, can you rotate your chest towards the left and gently open up through left arm? And with this, can you continue to pull your left hip back? And breath out brings both hands down. Mindfully step back, downward facing dog. And with an inhale, rolling forward to a high plank. And with knees up or down, slowly lowering your body all the way to the mat. Untuck your toes. Bending your left knee, reach your left arm back towards your ankle, the top of your foot, right at the front of your ankle. And extend your right arm forward. And with your next breath in, kick your left ankle into your hand and kick lots of pressure. And now see if perhaps your left leg wants to lift off the ground. Exhale to release. And we'll change sides, bending your right knee, grabbing with your right hand the top of your right ankle, left arm extends forward. Begin by kicking your ankle into your hand and kick lots of pressure, and perhaps your thigh wants to lift. Exhale, release everything. And taking full rest, bend your left knee again, and then bend your right knee, grabbing, if you can, both ankles, the front of your ankles. With your first breath, kick your feet into your hands. Keep kicking, and perhaps thighs want to lift, chest lifts, gaze lifts. Keep kicking. Kick as hard as you can away from your body. And release. Completely relax. And your next breath sends you up through tabletop and back into a child's pose, knees wide. Chest releases, forehead releases, and just surrender into this. And finding your next breath sending you up through tabletop and finding a downward facing dog. And inhale, right leg high. And exhale all the way through, dropping into a low lunge. Now heel toe, your right foot all the way across to the left, finding pigeon. Flex your ankle a lot. Grab your block or support if your hip is hovering too high off the ground, causing any discomfort. Just prop your right hip up on something to make it more comfortable. Shoulders face forward and take a big breath in to lift and lengthen the spine, chest shining forward. Back leg is extended long and straight. And with your exhale, you are welcome to slowly walk your hands forward and slowly fold into this. Now, things to think about in your pigeon. Ankle flexed, right ankle flexed. Right hip, can you pull it back? Back leg is extended. Crown of head is reaching forward, spine is still lengthening. Big breath sending it into the right side hip. Staying as active as you can in this stretch, keeping your joints safe. And taking full breath here, releasing. Taking this time to exhale through an open mouth, letting all stress out. And on your next inhale, slowly, mindfully walk your torso upright. Find a tabletop position and slowly downward facing dog. And breath in sends your left leg high, and breath out takes you into your low lunge. And then heel toe your foot across now towards the right. Flex your ankle a lot. And again, if you need to prop up your left glute, please place something underneath your glute. Extend your right leg back behind you. And then use your hands to lift your chest, square your shoulders forward, lengthen through the spine, and with a breath out, slowly, if you choose to, walk your hands forward and release torso forward. Being mindful of flexing your left ankle, lengthening long through your right leg behind you. Now, can you guide your left hip back? That's going to add a beautiful dimension to this stretch. And if you've chosen to fold forward, stay active where you can. Ankle flexed, hip engaged. Spine is lengthening. Breath is big. Breath is strong, sending it into your left hip. Exhaling through an open mouth. Very slowly, carefully, press yourself up and out of this pose. Coming back through tabletop. And a quick child's pose. And breath in rolls you all the way forward to your belly. Extend your legs long. Take your legs as wide as your mat. Tops of feet pressed down. Hands beside your chest. Come up onto all 10 fingertips and take your hands slightly wider than your mat. As you inhale, roll your shoulders back and lift up to a higher cobra. Shine your chest forward. Exhale to release. And from here, we will gently roll onto your back. Keeping your knees bent, take your feet as wide as your mat and take your arms into cactus. And gently windshield wiper your knees left and right, just slowly stretching out your low back. And the next time your legs land on the left, leave them there. And if you choose to make this stretch slightly deeper, you'll take your left foot and place it on the outside of your right knee. And just let the leg be heavy, don't force it. And gently take your gaze over the right arm. And now see if you can relax anywhere a little bit more in this pose. Can you relax the glute muscles in the area of the back of the pelvis? And can you soften through your hips? And gently release your foot if you have. Place it on the knee. Bring your knees through center. And then simply lift your hips to realign your spine before moving your legs over to the right. Gaze over the left shoulder. And just like before, if you choose to advance this stretch, you'll take your right foot and place it on the outside of your left knee. And once again, can you find space in your body that needs releasing, relaxing? And can you soften any tension through the front of your shoulders, your chest? And then bring your knees back through center, gaze through center. Keeping your left foot on the floor, lift your right foot up towards the ceiling, grab the back of the thigh. And then just see where your hands want to reach. If they can reach your calf or your foot, go ahead and grab that. Back of your thigh is great though. And then for a deeper version, straighten out your left leg. And just pulling the toes in towards the face, driving the heel upwards towards the ceiling, and taking your extended leg and pressing the heel down into the mat. And can you find some breath here as you stretch out the hamstring? And finding space to be easeful and soft. And then gently releasing the right foot down to the mat. Both knees bent, both feet on the floor. And we'll take your left foot up towards the ceiling. Grab the back of the thigh. And then just as before, if there's room to reach further, you can go ahead and reach further down your leg towards your foot. And then go ahead and extend your right leg. Now press down through your right heel into the mat and pull your left toes towards your face. Now it's absolutely fine if your knee is bent. That is not the point. We want to drive the heel upwards and feel the stretch through the back of the leg, the calf and the hamstring. And then releasing that and slowly tucking both knees into chest. And then go ahead and grab your block if it's close by. And we're going to come back into bridge. So placing your feet down, lifting your hips just enough that you can slide the block right under your sacrum. It's the big bony structure at the base of your spine where your tailbone meets. Now set the block up where you feel the most support. And once you're there, go ahead and tuck your right knee into chest. And then let your foot lift to the ceiling. And if that feels good, go ahead and do the same thing with the left. And just let your arms drop beside you, palms up. This is supported legs up the wall. This should feel very secure, very comfortable. And if it doesn't, slowly bring your feet down and readjust the block. If you do not have a block, you're welcome to simply lift your legs up the wall and find rest and stillness. And just letting the blood flow out of the feet, out of the legs, and bringing circulation back and fresh blood supply. And then slowly, one knee at a time, reverse out of this the same way you came in. When both feet are down, slowly lift the hips just enough that you can remove the block. And then slowly lower your hips to the mat. And you can extend one leg and then the other to the length and the width of your mat. And letting your arms slowly land softly on the floor beside you, palms up. And then just align your spine perfectly straight on the mat. And completely relax. And just breathe steadily. Eyes are closed. And all of your hard work is done.